lot of nuts!
What's up, my hyena theorists, and welcome back to another episode of I have never watched a single MattPat video, so I don't know how he does his introductions. Was that close enough? Perhaps it was a theory? A lame theory, because I'm worried about getting copyright striked. He is like a lawyer now, right? Matthew Patrick, better known as MatPat, is a former YouTuber recently retired to follow Congress into making new laws that are better adherent to those of us making content on the YouTubes. Big W, in my opinion. Is a major YouTuber, or was a major YouTuber. He runs the YouTube channel The Game Theorist with nearly 20 million subscribers, along with The Food Theorist and The Movie Theorist, and there's a bunch of other YouTube channels that he runs that all follow the same sort of formula of taking a deep dive into the theories and the ideas, the lore behind popular pieces of media. I'm not exactly sure what The Food Theorist does, perhaps he just cooks over there, but one common staple of these videos is Matthew Patrick appearing as a PNG, an image. This image of MatPat sort of holding his hand up to his chin is used and edited to represent his sort of, it's like his VTuber model. In his videos when he's talking and trying to address the camera, you will see this picture of MatPat pop up, and almost always it is this picture of MatPat that pops up. So when users on the internet decided to take a look at where this source of the image was from and then found the original image, well, they were met with a sense of uncanniness. How is it that he still looks so photoshopped into this very real, not photoshopped image? It is weird seeing this YouTuber in this environment when you're so used to seeing this PNG cutout of him in hundreds of videos so far. This sense of uncanniness when taking a look at the origin of a meme that you have only known to be so heavily edited when shared on the internet has been dubbed the MatPat effect. A subreddit community by the name of r/the MatPat effect, named after exactly this phenomenon. Its description reads, the sense of uncanniness upon seeing the original version of an image that has been more commonly edited or modified for visual presentation. Basically, when you're so used to seeing the deep-fried, meme-ified version of a real picture, that seeing the original picture gives you a sense of uncanniness or dread. You feel weird, like you're seeing a naked mole rat or somebody without their glasses for the first time. That is what we're calling the MatPat effect, and some of these are sort of fascinating. For instance, here is a meme that is, this is sort of used as an example for everybody who is making fun of Zoomers having so much fun with saying 6'7" over and over again. It's like, wow, this isn't even really a meme. You guys are just brain dead, rotted from watching so many skibbity toilet TikToks that you actually find two numbers side by side so entertaining. But the reality is that in the early 2010s or whenever this meme came out, everybody was laughing about E with this image associated to it. E was the meme, was 6'7" before 6'7". E was 6'6", if I'm being honest, but it comes from this image, which you guys might not be aware is actually a conglomeration. It is multiple layers deep. First of all, it is completely deep fried. The artificial PNG artifacting that has been applied to give texture to this image and make it look lower quality than it needs to be. Here's a higher quality version of the same image before the deep frying, which I would argue maybe already feels weird to you because you're so used to seeing the deep fried version. Do you even know what this is? This is in fact a picture of Lord Farquaad from Shrek. This is when he's sitting in bed asking the magic mirror to present him with a princess of whom he can then trick Shrek into kidnapping for him, followed by a face swap with Markiplier. Hey guys, Markiplier here. I don't do a great Markiplier. I do think he kind of sounds like Kronk from The Emperor's New Groove. I don't know if you guys think that. So it's this face swapped picture of Markiplier pasted onto this image of Lord Farquaad in bed, superimposed onto a picture of Mark Zuckerberg appearing in court. Multiple layers deep. This picture of Mark Zuckerberg looks kind of weird without being deep fried and having an E underneath it. This picture of Lord Farquaad, kind of, I don't even know if this isn't the meme because he kind of has the same facial features and structure as Markiplier, and then it all comes together as like, oh yeah, that's what this is. A fun consequence of being able to see the origin of some of these memes in which the meme comes from a video is that it becomes a little bit of a Where's Waldo situation, where you're watching a video waiting to see the perfect frame that then went on to, you know, spread legs, to grow legs and go on to become its own meme. For instance, here's a clip that I'm sure you guys will notice eventually.
Hey, knock it off! There's a kid back there!
I'm in danger!
How interesting. Watching through this, we can see this image of Ralph Wiggum and be like, oh yeah, the haha, I'm in danger came from this clip. So what? An image from The Simpsons is suddenly an interesting tidbit of meme lore because you found the original image, the original episode of The Simpsons? This isn't from an episode of The Simpsons. I completely forgot about this. This is from an episode of Family Guy. This is the Family Guy Simpsons crossover where Peter Griffin ends up in Springfield over beer or whatever the story plot was for that. This infamous, one of the most famous jokes to come from a Simpsons character isn't from The Simpsons. What? One video topic that I wanted to do has been the crying cat meme. There are a number of crying or screaming cat images that are used as reaction images that are memes in their own right, and I wanted to do a video sort of tracking down the original pictures of those cats. The issue is that it's only interesting to look at once I've shown you the 10th cat picture that's like, and here's what it looked like before I photoshopped it. It stops being interesting, although some of the cats aren't even cats. Here's a very popular example. This is Smiling Cat Smiles at Waffles, which is interesting. Obviously, you can imagine that the original image of this was a cat that didn't have such an obvious smile to its face. But the more interesting thing is not only is the cat not smiling, but the original picture was a plate of pancakes. So not only did somebody take the time to take this smug-looking cat and give it a smile, but they were also so in tune with the breakfast community that they decided, and you know what else would improve this image? Let's get rid of this lesser breakfast dessert and replace it with the superior breakfast dessert, waffles over pancakes, motherfucker! From a YouTube channel known as Giant Bomb, a group of friends decide to do a playthrough of Starbound, and a video in which they upload, they have a running joke where they zoom the camera in as much as they can on one of their friends, resulting in this clip, which is difficult to comprehend. You guys are probably watching this thinking, oh, it's a bunch of webcams, they're playing a video game, and they stuck the meme of the white guy blinking up in the top left. That's not a meme of the white guy blinking in the top left. That's the actual webcam of their buddy, reacting just as all the other guys are reacting to this video gameplay, the now iconic white guy blinking meme. This is fucking surreal. You're telling me this isn't just an image that you dropped in for comedic effect? There is a similar related visual bug in the ecosystem that there is a related subreddit known as the Matt effect, which is basically when you see a different angle or version of an iconic image online. For instance, here is the album cover for Fallen by Evanescence, and very recently, and by very recently I mean like probably 10 fucking years ago, who knows, there was this photo drop that shows a few alternate camera angles of the lead singer of Evanescence for the album cover for Fallen, which is weird because you probably only know the first picture. Seeing her in makeup, dressed the same, but from alternate angles almost feels like an AI generated, you know, image of something you think you recognize. But really, it's just, you know, one version of this so much more than the other ones. This also takes place in the meme ecosystem. For instance, the baseball or whatever it is, the let's fucking go meme, is actually one of several other sports balls, as you can see in this collage. There's a soccer ball, a basketball, an 8-ball from billiards. There's a bunch of these guys, but only one of which, the yellow, what I'm now recognizing is a tennis ball probably, is the one that would go on to become meme royalty. Here's an interesting concept that I will go ahead and dub the SumitoMedia effect. Basically, I've already done a video covering the entirety of the origin of the lion does not blank when the small dog blanks meme. And obviously I covered the original philosophical quote, which was the lion is unbothered when something lesser than it tries to make noise in its direction. The lion does not turn around when the small dog barks. But since then, this image, this phrase, the lion does not, has become such an iconic... So many people say this in order to be like Alpha, Sigma, the lion does not care for you, the small dog thing, that the original image, the original thing itself, it's hard to even tell this as the origin because it's been copied and pasted so many times. But I know, I'm aware, Obama putting a medal around Obama. A meme used to signify somebody patting themselves on the back, gloating as it were, talking about their own accomplishments. Perhaps one of the best known memes. It's been iterated and iterated and iterated upon. Obviously, you know in your heart of hearts, with even the smallest amount of thinking, that the original image couldn't be Obama putting a medal around another Obama. You know this isn't the real image. You know that. And yet still, seeing the original image makes me think that this looks fake. Even though this is the real one. It's so freaky. Obviously, you know, rest in peace to a real one. Shout out to Kabosu, the original Doge from the Doge meme, had a photo shoot in which you can recognize a number of images from these that would go on to become memes in their own right. It's almost surreal clicking through these pictures and being like, wait, that's a real image? This isn't Doge lore? These aren't memes that are being made? This is just an actual dog that just had the fucking aura of a god? Like, that's insane. I don't want to insult your intelligence with some of these. Maybe you guys know the origins of these memes more than one could know. Surely you guys know the original default dance from Fortnite is Donald Faison from Scrubs doing this dance randomly, right? You guys know this one, right? One of the most popular examples of the MatPat effect is typically in Wojaks and Soyjaks, these MS Paint outlines that you have probably seen thrown up as reaction images or edited to be other characters from video games and movies and what have you. A lot of people don't recognize that these expressions that are given to these MS Paint drawings come from real images of people, some of which have their own versions of pieces from memes. For instance, these two Soyjaks are two guys that are soy jacking at the new vegan wings at KFC, literally soy wings, hence the soy jack. But then some of these other ones are just sort of, I don't even know if you've seen most of these in the wild. My personal favorite is actually this one with the surplus of vague posting that has been going on. People making tweets responding to something that they just expect you to know without clarifying what they're talking about. There has been an influx of people utilizing the context jack. This picture of a dude with a hat that says context and a shirt that says context, pointing at a sign that says, I require context. A hilarious way to let people know that they don't know what the fuck you are talking about. Also comes from a real picture of a real person pointing at a real sign, although her shirt is sleeveless and they aren't even wearing a hat. So I feel like we took a couple different liberties with this one, but still interesting to know. It's tough to tell what exactly qualifies as a MatPat effect because it very much heavily relies on you not knowing the origin, the source material from which the meme is contrived. If you're well aware of a character from a TV show that then gets memed online, you're probably never going to experience the MatPat effect because you're already well aware of what that original source was. And so this is sort of a weird balance of a meme where it can only really be interesting to you if you are aware that it is a meme, but you have to simultaneously not be aware of where the meme came from in order to then have this realization of, oh, this is a real piece of media that was then satirized and turned into a meme, which I find very interesting. And if you found interesting as well, let me know some of your favorite examples down in the comments. I'm excited to see what versions you guys are or are not aware of. Remember to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed it. It helps me out a ton. Subscribe if you want more of me, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Spisu.